Shalom once again, O house of Israel. This is your brother Ben Sedek Ben Torah, and I'm here to do part two of the Feast of Dedication known as Chanukah. If you haven't checked out part one, check out part one, and then you'll better understand part two. So as we left off on part one, Yehuda, the Maccabee family, they were chased into the wilderness into a guerrilla warfare. Now, I'm gonna cut out all of that because it's a long story. I mean, you could read the history in the book of the Maccabees. At one point, they were outnumbered like 300 to 1. They were about to give up, but then Yahuda, the Maccabee, got up and he gave them an awesome speech into Hebrew history and let his followers know why they are the chosen people and that Yah, their mighty father, will never ever abandon them. And they got courage. At one time, when they were outnumbered 300 to 1, the book says the Almighty sent two malachim, two angels from the heavens with flaming swords and fire and all that stuff and help them win the victory. Now, let's move over now to Messiah's time. What happened was this. Just before the coming of the Messiah, this happened 158 years before the Messiah. When the pagans went in and defiled the temple, this happened on the 25th of the Hebrew month Kislev, which is the ninth month of the Hebrew here in the year 167 BCE. What happened? The Israelites fought a guerrilla warfare for 3 years and recaptured the city and rededicated the temple back in the same day, believe it or not, the 25th of Kislev, the ninth month, this time in the year 164. So from 167 to 164, exactly 3 years, they fought the guerrilla war and they were victorious. Now, this is what happened. After they won the war, um, they rededicated the temple and it took them 8 days. The reason why they did 8 days is because during the war, they could not celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. Tabernacles was 8 days. So what happened? Yehuda commanded that after they rededicate the temple, they should celebrate it for 8 days as of the tabernacle. So in other words, it was like a delayed tabernacle. Now, the lighting of the oil and stuff like that, that's a tradition. That's an oral tradition. It's not mentioned in any of the book of the Maccabees. We're not saying that it did or did not happen. It's an oral tradition. It probably happened. We do not know. But there's no documentation in any of the Maccabee books, including Josephus. None of them testify that there was any oil lantern that stayed lit for 8 days. There was no such thing that was documented. Like I said, maybe it happened, maybe not. But I don't like to speak of things that I'm not sure of. Like I said, it's just an oral tradition, okay? But we do know from historical and the historical event that it was celebrated in 8 days as of the tabernacle. Now let's go to the Brit Chadashah in the time of Yahushua. There are many people I hear saying Chanukah is a pagan custom. Obviously, these people are ignorant and have no clue what they're talking about. And it's not good for somebody to talk about something that they don't know about. Let's look at Hanukkah, and many people don't know Hanukkah. Yes, the only place it's mentioned in the canonized scriptures is in Yohanan or John 10:22. Let's read it. Yochanan, John 10:22. It says, "At that time, the Hanukkah, her dedication, feast of dedication, came to be in Jerusalem, and it was winter. Why? It was in the fall. And Yahushua was walking in the set apart place to the porch of Shlomo. So the Yahudim surrounded him, said to him, How long do you keep us in suspense? If you are the Mashiach, say to us plainly. Yahushua answered them, I have told you, and you do not believe. The work that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness concerning me, but you do not believe, because you are not of my sheep. And I said to you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Now, what was going here is interesting. Now, I don't see the Messiah that I follow. My Messiah will never go to a pagan, a pagan feast and partake in it. What happened was this, as we just read, it was the feast of Chanukah, the festival of light, dedication. They were rededicating at the temple. It was an anniversary. So Yahushua was walking at that time in Solomon's porch. While he was walking there, the Yahudim, okay, the Jews, Yahudim, they came and they asked him, tell us plainly, are you the Messiah? Now, why do you think they were asking him this during the feast of Hanukkah? Very simple. Because Hanukkah is a rededication and it's a symbol of light. Remember, Yahushua said in the Tanakh, in the Brit Hadashah, he said that he is the light of the world. Which world? The world of Israel. He is the light of the world, and Hanukkah is light. So what they're saying, they recognize what was going. So the Yahudim asked him, tell us, are you the light of Israel? In other words, while he was walking through Solomon's porch, they wanted to know if he's the one who fulfilled the prophecy of Hanukkah of being the light of Israel. Unbelievable. Now, let's back up a little. If you turn to Matthew or Matthew 24:15, when the Messiah was given the prophecies of the end time, one of the things he said in Matthew 24:15, he said, when you see the abomination spoken of by Daniel, then they put in open and closed parentheses, let he that readeth understand. What Yahushua was saying to the people is this, concerning the end time. The same thing that happened during the abomination of desolation in the past is going to happen again. Okay? In other words, just like as though that tyrant came the first time and he was oppressing the set apart people and persecuting and prosecuting them, Yahushua said in the end time it's going to happen. This one in the end time, we know the scripture refer to him as the anti-Messiah. He's coming. As the scripture says, many anti-Messiah spirit is in the world, but the anti-Messiah will come again. Now, let me close by saying, what does Hanukkah mean to us as believers? Very simple. We shall stand for what is right and what is truth, even if everybody else choose to follow the lie. Even though sometimes there might be a price to pay for what is right, we will stand by it because we can never perish if we stand by what is right. And as the word says, greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. That is what makes our courage if we stand for what is right. No matter what the masses say, as long as it's right and it's from Abba Yahweh, stand by it. Stand by it. No matter what anybody says, stand by the truth. For the truth shall set us free. Okay? And another moral I get from Chanukah is this. It's not the size of the army that matters, but it's the quality. And no army is greater than the army of Abba Yahweh. Hallelujah to that. And like I said before, it shows that one man or two or three, that's all it takes to start a movement to stand for what is right. And in the end, they pay sacrifice with their blood, but in the end, they were free. Praise Abba Yah. So until then, Shalom Aleichem.